Love X Revenge. 10 years is a long time to live with a question that never stops asking itself. For Anna Reed, the question had a name, a face, and a smell she could never forget: the antiseptic sting of a hospital corridor and the quiet beep of a monitor that went flat too soon. Her mother, Eleanor Reed, had died when Anna was 19, officially from complications after a routine surgery. Unofficially, it felt like theft. Something precious had been taken in plain sight, and everyone had nodded and moved on. Anna did not move on. She left their small town the week after the funeral, carrying two things with her: a scholarship letter and a sealed envelope she had found hidden behind the family's old medicine cabinet. The envelope contained copies of medical bills, handwritten notes in her mother's looping script, and a single sentence circled in red: they changed the dosage. No names. No explanation. Just a whisper of doubt that followed Anna into adulthood like a shadow. Years passed. Anna became an investigative journalist, the kind who stayed late and asked the questions others avoided. Colleagues admired her focus. Editors admired her results. No one knew the real reason she chased the truth so fiercely. At night, when the city fell quiet, she replayed her mother's last weeks in her mind: the rushed consultations, the doctor who never quite met her eyes, the administrator who spoke too quickly about consent forms. On the 10th anniversary of Eleanor's death, Anna returned home. The hospital looked the same from the outside, a pale brick building pretending to be eternal. Inside, the corridors were freshly painted, but the air felt unchanged. Anna requested her mother's full medical records, armed with legal knowledge she had gathered patiently over a decade. The clerk hesitated, then complied. Laws had shifted. Time had loosened old knots. The records told a story, but not a clean one. Dosages corrected with whiteout, notes initialed but never signed, a consultant's report missing entirely. Anna cross-referenced names, dates, and shifts. One name kept appearing at crucial moments: Drive. Marcus Hale, the lead anesthesiologist that night. He was respected, awarded, and now retired comfortably in a gated community 2 hours away. Another name appeared less often but mattered just as much: Victor Lane, the hospital's former procurement officer. He had overseen pharmaceutical contracts during the years when Eleanor was treated. Anna dug deeper. Archived court filings revealed that Victor Lane had been questioned, quietly, in an unrelated case involving counterfeit medication distribution. The case had collapsed for lack of evidence. Dr. Hale's name had appeared in a footnote, never explained. Anna's hands shook as she connected the dots. Counterfeit anesthetics, adjusted dosages, missing reports, a death labeled unavoidable. She decided not to confront them yet. Truth, she knew, needed light and witnesses. Anna pitched a long-form investigation to her editor, carefully anonymized at first. The story focused on systemic failures, on how counterfeit drugs slipped into hospitals through corrupt contracts. It gained traction. Readers responded. Former nurses and junior doctors reached out anonymously, sharing stories they had buried for years. One message stood out. A nurse named Clara wrote that she had been on duty the night Eleanor Reed died. Clara remembered questioning the dosage but being silenced by Dr. Hale himself. She remembered Victor Lane arriving unexpectedly, overseeing inventory at midnight. Anna met Clara in a quiet cafe. The woman's hands trembled as she spoke. "They told me I'd lose my license if I said anything," Clara whispered. "I had a child on the way. I was afraid." Anna felt anger rise, but also something else: understanding. Fear was the currency that had bought everyone's silence. With Clara's testimony, Anna had enough to go public. The exposé ran on a Sunday morning. Names were named. Documents were published. The story spread like wildfire. By evening, Drive, Hale's phone was disconnected, and Victor Lane's gated community had reporters outside its entrance. Authorities reopened multiple cases. Former patients' families came forward. A pattern emerged: quiet deaths, similar circumstances, the same supply chain. Dr. Hale was arrested first. During interrogation, he maintained his composure, insisting he had followed protocol. But when confronted with evidence of altered records and testimony from Clara, his resolve cracked. He confessed to accepting bribes to overlook irregularities in drug supplies. "I never meant for anyone to die," he said, his voice hollow. "I told myself it was safe enough." Victor Lane's arrest followed. Unlike Hale, he showed no remorse. He had built his wealth on shortcuts and silence. Everyone benefited, he sneered during his perp walk. Cheaper drugs, bigger margins. The trial that followed captivated the nation. Anna sat through every session, listening to lawyers dissect her mother's final hours. Each detail hurt, but each truth also healed something inside her. When the verdict was read, guilty on all major counts, the courtroom erupted. Some cried, some prayed. Anna closed her eyes and breathed for the first time in years. But the final shock came later. After the trial, an elderly woman approached Anna outside the courthouse. She introduced herself as Margaret Hale, Drive, Hale's wife. Her face was lined with grief and something heavier. Guilt. "There's something you should know," Margaret said quietly. She handed Anna a letter, yellowed with age. "My husband wrote this years ago. He never sent it." The letter was an apology, to Eleanor Reed. In it, Drive, Hale admitted that on the night Eleanor died, he had realized too late that the anesthetic was compromised. He had tried to correct the dosage but was overruled by protocol and fear. He chose his career over a woman's life. The letter ended with a sentence that made Anna's knees weaken. "Her daughter deserves the truth, even if I never have the courage to give it." Anna stood frozen as Margaret walked away. That night, Anna visited her mother's grave. She read the letter aloud, her voice steady despite the tears. "They know now," she whispered. "The world knows." In the weeks that followed, hospitals across the country reviewed their supply chains. New laws were proposed. Whistleblower protections were strengthened. Anna's story had done more than avenge one death, it had saved lives. Yet revenge was not what Anna felt. It was release. 10 years of anger softened into something quieter. Love. The kind that persists, that refuses to be erased by lies or time. Anna realized that her mother's true legacy was not how she died, but how fiercely her daughter had lived for the truth. At the end of her final article, Anna wrote a single line: "Justice delayed is still justice when courage refuses to die." The world read it, and somewhere beyond the noise, Eleanor Reed finally rested in peace.